The superintendent was sure to include that Angelo had passed all New York State licensing requirements. He passed a criminal background check, an independent background check. He was fingerprinted and passed a drug test. Now, the DA said that he only had a misdemeanor on his record dating back to 1994. It's why the Great Neck Public Schools is insisting that the New York State Licensing Department reevaluate its requirements.
Fox 5's Ashley Rodriguez joins us live from the scene in Morris Heights. And Ashley, who's being allowed back in?
So they're allowing families in on the south side of the building. That's the side completely opposite of us. They're allowing 2 to 3 families in at a time. They can only grab essentials. We have a photographer over there that's monitoring the situation, and he tells me it's turning out to be pretty chaotic. But you can just imagine the anguish that this collapse caused so many people, and they can't get back in until this building is deemed safe. And Diana tells me that she's scared because she's not sure how long the Red Cross is going to put them, her family, and the other tenants up in hotels. So really, this is on the city and the building's owner to get this building back up to code as soon as possible. Steve, Natasha. The Legal Aid Society says their first court date is February 20th. The goal is to get an order to correct the violations as soon as possible. They say if the landlords don't comply, they'll be asking to use the power of the court to ratchet up the fines and put pressure on them to do the work to ensure the safety of this building. In the Morris Heights section of the Bronx, Ashley Rodriguez, Fox 5 News.
Fox 5's Ashley Rodriguez is live at the scene with what things look like right now. Ashley.
This fire was so massive, it was so hot and spreading so quickly that crews were concerned it could engulf the entire industrial park behind me. At this hour, 12 hours later, it is contained, but that does not mean that it is completely put out. They're estimating that could take a couple of days. And despite how massive this fire was, only one firefighter was hurt. It wasn't because of the fire, but because of all of the water causing ice. The firefighters slipped on the ice. Right now, they are taking out the old crew who's been here all day long. They're replacing them with new firefighters who will stay here throughout the night and into tomorrow with the hope that it can be completely contained. But definitely, this industrial park will be under fire watch all next week. We'll send it back to you in the studio, Steve.
Well, all right. Thanks, Ashley.
Ashley Rodriguez is live in a story outside the apartment building where that raid took place. And Ashley, with that hit list, a very scary situation that's unfolding.
Oh, absolutely. And the DA says what was inside this apartment behind me could have led to a catastrophic event. We're talking about 9 bombs, 8 guns, 600 rounds of ammunition. And not only that, it's across the street from a power plant. Now, after 6 months of investigation, they don't know what the brothers were planning, but they do say law enforcement was able to prevent it. So obviously this investigation is ongoing. The DA has not connected these men to any terrorist affiliation. They still don't know the motive. But I can tell you in some of the writings that the men had, they wrote human sacrifices permitted, but only for the corrupt. Now, the NYPD Commissioner, Edward Caban, is applauding this investigation, calling these 2 men evil and saying that they were capable of horrendous carnage in this community. We'll send it back to you in the studio.
All right. Thanks, Ashley.
And they are confident that the Fashion Workers Act will pass this session. The bill passed the state Senate last year. They just need the Assembly to do the same and get it to the floor of both houses. In Midtown, Ashley Rodriguez, Fox 5 News.
Fox 5's Ashley Rodriguez is live outside the 113th Precinct in Queens with who this suspect is and how police were able to track him down, Ashley.
Yeah, police combed this city for 22 hours and finally they found the suspect. They used surveillance video from one of the homes in this neighborhood, leading them to his house behind me. And you can see that's a nice home. He had a job at a hospital. He has no criminal history, no mental health history. Well, that all changed today. Yeah, the mayor saying that because hundreds of tips came in from New Yorkers. Now, the suspect, he's facing multiple counts of attempted murder, attempted assault, and criminal possession of a weapon. Now, this investigation's still ongoing. In fact, police are on scene inside his house right now. They're trying to see if he could be possibly connected to the stabbing in Brooklyn on the G train. They're also looking at cold case stabbings to see if he was the perpetrator. Tonight, for sure, South Queens residents very grateful to the NYPD. We'll send it back to you in the studio. Natasha.
Fox 5's Ashley Rodriguez joins us live from 134th Avenue and Guy Brewer Boulevard in Queens, where 2 people were stabbed earlier today. And Ashley, police just gave us an update on their investigation.
Yeah, they just held a presser and they told us there's actually 5 stabbings in Queens, that they're all connecting to the same suspect, and they're looking into a 6th stabbing in Brooklyn, possibly by the same guy. Now, as you mentioned, I'm at 134th. This is where police have been camped out all day long, trying to get this suspect off the streets. All the stabbings happening in this general vicinity, putting residents on edge. Take a look. So again, since we sent that story in, police updated us. 5 stabbings in Queens. We believe it happened around 8:30 this morning. We don't know the exact location, but we do believe it was a 36-year-old man. And then possibly again a 6th in Brooklyn. This suspect supposedly walking around New York City with a hunter's knife. Police have put out a call, immediate call for help. If you know anything, if you think you recognize him, call 911 so they can get him off the streets as soon as possible. We'll send it back to you in the studio.
All right, thanks, Ashley.
Ashley Rodriguez joins us live from Midtown. And Ashley, how are people preparing now for this event tomorrow?
Well, we're talking about a large Christmas crowd joined by potentially a large crowd of protesters. So the NYPD is going to take a multi-level approach to make sure everyone, thousands of people, remain calm and remain safe. But what does that mean for you, the spectator? Well, as I stand next to a ton of barricades, it means that it's going to take longer to get in and longer to get out. And really, you should not let these protests keep you from enjoying Christmas time in the city. But we will warn you, the NYPD telling us today that they are aware of future protests happening at future gatherings in the days and weeks to come. We'll go ahead and send it back to you.
Very well. All right. Thanks, Ashley.